Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the. I was like, I forgot her name for a second there. Okay,
Big uncle.
welcome back to the Footy Casuals. All right, I know we just did one recently, but I totally just fumbled there for a second. I don't know what I thought was going on, but we're just two lads talking about footy. Okay, but yeah, so we are back. Brian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, actually. Pretty better than usual, and at this point, kind of happy that we got back pretty soon. I would say this is pretty soon than when we normally come back. So
Right?
pretty excited. How
Exactly.
about you?
I'm doing pretty good. So before we start this recording, I just want to say for anybody listening, so you'll the day this goes live, which should go live tomorrow, is Brian's birthday. So everybody wish Brian a happy birthday.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, so be sure to wish
Appreciate
Brian
that.
a happy birthday. I'm sure at the moment he's kind of buzzing with the way his Chelsea ended at the end. Well, somewhat
Yeah,
to an extent,
so buzzing now.
which we'll get into. But yeah, speaking of that, so today we're gonna go over the Premier League predictions. So our goal is to get all these predictions out before the Euro start because we have to do predictions for the Euros and then
Yeah, we do.
play week by week with the games that go on and stuff like that. It's and the Copa America too as well. I almost forgot about that one, but yeah.
Yeah.
So my goal is to get that out of the way. All I'm gonna say is we never made a video for the Europa League and the Conference League, but it's safe to say, Brian, that neither of us had. If we
Yeah.
did this at the beginning, there's who knows? Actually, well, honestly, I wouldn't have saw Atalanta in the final, and I probably would have.
Me neither.
I probably would have thought Leverkusen would have won it, but they fumbled. I surely did not see Olympiacos in the final, let alone winning it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think that I didn't even know that Fiorentina was in the final last year, and they lost like in the end, like on a last minute goal, and then this year they lost again, last
Yeah.
minute goal. So I don't know, but I know for a fact that we didn't take it 100% seriously. So
No, we definitely didn't.
no, and even then, regardless, there was no chance we were gonna guess those teams were gonna make it that far. So a lot of
Yeah.
the big heavy hitters fell out pretty quick. But yeah,
Yeah. Because I can tell you right now, I wouldn't have thought that Leverkusen would have had the season they were gonna have and like not lose any games up until then. Like, yeah, no way I would have ever guessed that.
exactly. Yeah, I'm still mad about that, but I'll save that little rant and
For another day.
frustration for when we go over the Bundesliga. We'll see how much time we have today. If we have enough time, we might throw in another league because, like I said, we got to get these out before the Euro start, which is very soon. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with you, Brian, since you started us off. So, do you remember? See here. So I know you won't remember your mid-table. Do you remember your top four and your bottom three?
I want to say my bottom three. I think I had Sheffield United. I think I had them last. I want to say I had Luton going down. I think I had Burnley just squeezing out. So I probably had
Who would you put
Forest
down?
going down. I think
Forest. Okay.
I might have put Forest, but low key don't know. But I do know
Your
that
top
I
four.
think I had Man City going, or obviously staying up there. I had Liverpool, I believe, staying up there. I want to say I could have put Arsenal, and I want to say I think I put Chelsea, but I don't know. I don't recall. I just know that I obviously had Man City winning it. And I
Yeah.
think I had Liverpool 2, and then I
Okay.
think I had Arsenal 3 and Chelsea 4.
So I know my bottom three and I know my bottom three and my
I remember
top
your
four.
bottom 3.
Yeah. So my bottom three was Sheffield.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little mad because I was gonna put Burnley, but everybody was talking about Vincent Company this and Vincent Company that, and I was
I was one
gonna
of those.
put them to go down, but I was like, everybody's on this Burnley hype train, so I'll join along, and I regretted that because I had Burnley
Yeah.
going down, and I should have stuck to my gun. I didn't. I think I think I threw 2 times in 2 leagues. I think I put Bournemouth in the bottom 3.
I want to say you did.
And they finished 12th. And you want to know another funny one? I put
What?
in La Liga. I put Girona to go down, and they
I
finished
know.
3rd. So I can't wait to go over that one.
And I'm pretty sure I put them really high, didn't I?
You did. I
And
can't
I told
wait.
you, I was like, they're gonna be mad.
I can't wait to go over that one. That's supposed to be my league too, bro. But I
Yeah.
mean, no one expected that. But I know relegation was exaggerated, but nobody expected that. But
No, and there's gonna be crazy things like that in every league, so it's not
oh
just
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So that Bournemouth one's gonna lose me a lot of points, I'm sure. And then I think I was deciding between like the last spot between like Wolves and Everton.
I believe it was Everton, yeah.
I think it was between the last spots. No, I think I swapped the last second. I can't remember, but I just had faith, man. But we'll talk about it as we go, kind of. We'll see. Well, let's get started. So first of all, so we have Brian's video pulled up right here. I'm not gonna play the audio. We're just gonna kind of skip through it, kind of show off it. Here we got it. So, all right. So we have Brian's table right here. So let's see what he picked first. So he picked Sheffield. Yeah. So Sheffield 20. So, all right.
Yeah. Then I put Luton. I remember that.
Okay.
The last one's the one I don't recall.
So Brian, as of now, unless you shift it, you have Sheffield at 20. So that one's perfect. So we're gonna do a point system. So for every one he gets wrong, obviously it's a point. So he got Sheffield, which is perfect. So no points there.
I don't change those. I know for a fact I don't change.
No, I mean like the order.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you put Luton 19. So 1 point. You were barely off of that one. They barely survived. Oh look, you put Everton.
That's yours, is it not?
No, yours is the first one.
Dang, did I actually put Everton?
Yeah, Coach. I'll play the video, Coach. You'll hear it. I'll play the audio.
More pressure on them because they're just always gonna like.
See, that's you, man. That's
we'll
you, my guy. We'll see if you change it.
Check. Maybe I changed it up.
Okay, yeah, Burnley.
I didn't change it.
Okay, and you're not. As of now, you're at 2 points because you're off by 2 spots, which isn't bad. You know, that's not bad. And then Burnley finished. They finished 19, so that's another 2. So you're at 4.
And the crazy thing is, for a second, the Everton one was looking real because of the point deduction. But
I know, dude. I know. They pulled it out in the end. Honestly, like we'll talk about it real quick. So Sheffield, they I don't know what the heck they're doing. Like that's why some of these owners and some of these like people like they don't care. You could tell that they didn't care about competing. Like I don't know if they were just in it for the money because when you get promoted, you get money, and then. When you get relegated, they give you like 3 years worth of payments. Like they call them parachute payments, where like they give you a big lump sum to like try and come back.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just in it for the money, but they sold like some of their like players, and they didn't really buy anybody. So it was pretty much doomed from the start. Like if they stayed up, it would have been a miracle. So Sheffield, it's just unfortunate.
And I feel like it was one of those years too where I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like there wasn't as much faith in any of them to like actually stay up. Like I know you wanted Luton, but I remember you wanted them to stay up just because of like you liked them, not because you had faith in them to stay up. Like I feel like sometimes there's that one team where you're like, you know what, I actually have faith that they'll stay up. But like I feel like this was one of those years where it's like we could easily see all 3 of them go straight back down, the people that came up. So
yeah, you're right about that. You know what's crazy? It's been a while. I don't know the year, but I guess it's been a while since all 3 have gone down. Usually 1 or 2 stay up. Even recently, I guess for the first time, like all 3 stayed up, which was also a new thing. I forgot what year. It was recently though, I think.
And if I remember correctly, I feel like that's why we also chose one of them to stay up because we were talking about it in that previous episode. They were saying how like somebody always stays up, so we're like kind of debating. We're like, who do we think is gonna stay up? And funny enough, they all went down.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah. I'm a little disappointed because this was Luton's best opportunity. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. In a normal year, Luton's relegated by like maybe February or March, but they got lucky that a lot of teams were underperforming, and then Everton with the point deductions, and then Nottingham Forest with the point deductions. So they had a very good chance of staying up, and they just ran out of steam. Like they were doing good at the start, getting results, but then they just kind of stopped. So it's unfortunate.
I think the thing with Luton that sold them too is when all the lower, because I remember for a while it was like literally like a point off of like everybody at the bottom. Like we literally were like so many people could like go down, And then whenever people started losing games, they would lose games. And whenever like the other teams would start picking it up, they would start picking it up. But at that point, it was like too late because like I remember they were such dumb games like that they could have won or they could have got a draw and they just would lose. And it's just like, dude, how like just when you think you're like, you know what, like they're gonna catch a little streak, but nope. Then they would lose like the one of the like the easiest games to win, and then we're just like, oh my god, like back at it again. Like they're just gonna be looting, man.
Exactly. Yeah, no, they had a good chance to stay up, and I don't know what happened, but they just it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But yeah, so they went down, unfortunately. So I have the table pulled up right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened there, and then you put Everton. So Everton. Oh, actually, Everton ended up 15th. Why did I say one?
They did end up 15th.
That's right.
That's whenever they had gotten the point deduction, but remember, I believe they got like points back. So they're like, we're gonna take points, but we're not gonna take.
Oh yeah, I think they got 3 points back.
Yeah, so it was like one of those dumb moments where you're like, what? Like, how are you gonna deduct points and be like, actually, like, no, we're actually gonna give some points back because it wasn't as crazy as we thought. Like, I remember that's what saved them too, because at that moment they had got deducted points, and I think that's whenever they were, I believe 17th.
Yeah.
And then they ended up jumping to 16th, and then they caught a little bit of a streak for a while, but then the other teams kind of just sold it. It was more so other teams selling it than Everton kind of clutching up. But I mean, they did start performing a little bit towards the end of the season. I won't lie.
Yeah, very true. They did, honestly. But yeah, as of now, Brian, you're at 6 points from that one because you put Everton. But don't worry, I'm sure you'll beat me on this one because of that pick, like I said. So all right, so let's see where you went after this for your 14 to 16. Okay, so
yeah, I remember that one.
Bournemouth, and then you put Wolves. Okay, so fun fact here, I think I put Wolves 7. No, I think I put Wolves 18th, and it was looking like it for a while.
Yeah,
kinda. But I think I did that. Wolves ended up 14th, so I'm pretty sure I'm taking some big L's
I was one up on that Wolves one.
Yeah, you were, actually. No, actually, you got it spot on. Wait. No, you didn't. Wait, no, you didn't. No.
No.
We'll see if you rearrange it, but no, yeah, you, as of right now, you're one up. Let's finish off your little bracket. Let's see. You went Forest 14th. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just you're trying to do math because I can't do math. All right, so you put Bournemouth 16th, and that's 4 right there, so that's 10. And then Wolves, you put 15. You're off by 1, so that's 11. And then you put Forest 14th, and you're off by 3, so that's 14. Yeah, so you're at 14 right now in the first 2 slots.
Nice.
Yeah, well, a lot of people didn't expect Bournemouth to do good because of this new coach that they had hired.
Yeah.
And Bournemouth, I feel like, had always been just barely scraping through, so I just thought they were going to go down myself, and they just surprised everybody, and they finished almost mid-table, so...
I'm not going to lie. This could be a crazy take, but I think Bournemouth just overperformed this year. I'm not going to lie.
I agree.
I think they overperformed because of what I was saying earlier, that everybody was literally like throwing games at the beginning of the season. Like everybody, like all these easy games that you could win. Like the relegation battle for a while at the beginning was just like crazy because there was just like everybody was just losing games. And I remember we were talking about it when we were seeing it happen. And you would be like, oh, like Luton needs to win these games, and they would lose.
Oh my god, I'm still pissed. One of those games was against Sheffield United. I'm like, bro, that's one of the games you need to win.
Yeah,
it got annoying.
I feel like that's kind of one of the reasons they overperformed. But I mean, hey, I gotta give them their props. They did end up 12th, so shout out to Bournemouth.
Yeah, they did pretty well, you know. You put Wolves 15th, so I'm pretty sure I put Wolves to go down because. It was a shit show. They sold a lot of guys. They didn't bring anybody in, and Lopetegui had just quit like a week or 2 before the season started. He's like, nah, forget this. I'm not doing this, and he just took off. And they replaced him. It's funny they replaced him with the coach that I think they fired the Nottingham Forest coach, and then he took over the role, and Wolves ended up doing better than Nottingham Forest, which is hilarious. But yeah, that's why I didn't think they were going to stay up because of that. You know, I was like, nah, there's no way after that. And then Nottingham Forest. It came down to Nottingham Forest and Luton Town. And I was like, I like both teams. I don't want either team to go down. But
Yeah.
I was like, damn. But one of them has to go down, unfortunately. And I just obviously would much rather Nottingham Forest to go down. But it didn't happen. Because they've been spending so much money, man. I'm like, they bought so many players, spent so much money, and for what? Like, nothing to show for it. All their players haven't really performed. I remember at one point they had so many players. I'm like, you could have like enough to make another team. That's how many players they had. Like, oh my god. But yeah, so that was my frustration with them. We'll see how they do next season, but they need to get it together and stop spending $100 million every not $100 million.
Just let them spend it.
I guess, yeah, like stop spending $100 million every year and then end up bottom of the freaking table.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any thoughts here, Brian, before we move on to your next bracket?
No, I feel like thinking back on it, I feel like at that moment I low-key could have put Wolves lower too. Like, I'm surprised I kind of didn't. But I mean, hey, it worked out.
No, it did. It did, honestly. Don't worry, Brian. Don't you think I forgot that you put Brentford really high?
Hey,
I remember that one.
Just let us get to that moment.
It's funny. I think I'm like one of the few that remembered that Ivan Toney was gonna be out. I'm like, did everybody just suddenly forget that Ivan Toney's gonna be out for like ever? I'm like, come on.
But I told you, I still had faith.
Yeah, no, they needed that man badly. They could have gone relegated if he hadn't came back, but we'll see. All right, let's see the next brackets right here. All right, so the next part we're gonna go to your 11 to 13. So let's see who you put here. All right, so you put. Oh, I went a little too far. Oh, I think I messed up on your thing. Oh, that's right. They didn't have Fulham on here.
Yeah.
That's right. The thing is, I don't know where you put Fulham.
That is a thing too.
Here, let me put the audio and see what we said, cause I'm like, I don't even know, cause I know for a fact Fulham wasn't there. Hold on, let me play the audio real quick.
Let's say, but this year that's why but I literally always keep a middle of, or they lost Declan Rice obviously.
Okay, so you put
just like my bid.
Yeah.
But I literally always keep a middle of pack. Like they never do much to go.
Okay.
We're not gonna talk about. We'll talk about it when we get to that.
Oh, damn! You really put Brentford that. Okay, so I think at the end is when I think it's at the end we recap all the picks since it's not they didn't have Fulham on here for some reason. Okay, so first of all, you put West Ham 13th. You put West Ham 13th and they ended 9th.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I'll still stand by that. You know, I thought like that Declan Rice, like the leaving was actually gonna do like a lot more than it did. I mean, props to them for figuring it out. But I thought he was just like such a big piece to what they had building. So I mean, I don't have regrets over it. I still see why I thought it was gonna be like that. But I mean, it is what it is. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. The Brighton one, I remember. I think I was trying to tell you, like, just looking at it right now. I remember because I remember the Brentford. I was like, I'm just gonna throw somebody up there just to throw somebody up there because I was like, somebody's gonna perform, you know. And obviously that person ended up turning to be Bournemouth. But the one I am shocked with is Brighton because I remember they had just done very well the year before, and then me and you were both kind of talking about it. And I had said I was like, watch them drop because I was like, they're gonna drop because they're doing they're in European competitions, so they're kind of gonna like not really know how to act because they haven't really been like in European competitions like that. So I said I was like they're gonna drop, but I didn't expect them to drop that bad. Like I remember I was like, yeah, they're gonna drop, but they drop. Like these dudes are losing points left and right towards the end of the season. I remember Chelsea stole some points from them, so I mean, props to me guessing, but I mean I guess their downfall was a little bit worse than I actually thought it was gonna be. But yeah. I mean, hey man, it is what it is. It's gonna happen at some point, and I'm pretty sure the Crystal Palace, I literally just guessed middle of the pack, and they were basically there.
They usually always kind of do.
Yeah, I put them 11th, but they were 10th. So
I don't know which one you put. We gotta wait and see what you where you put Fulham, but I'm sure you put it there, but yeah, yeah, Brighton. I think I was on board with that. I think I was just on board the hype train. I was like, let's see how far they can make it, but yeah, they struggled a lot. They struggled a lot, and they didn't do as good as that you would think. The De Zerbi walked at the end of the season, so
Yeah.
we're gonna see what happens next year. But I feel like with him gone, like obviously this is not the video to talk about predictions, but I feel like next that they're gonna drop some more. I feel like he was really the one that made a difference.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start to see like a little tank, and they'll probably be like, I'm not
In
gonna
a couple of seasons, they'll probably go back down to the championship.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can see them slowly spiraling and even being like under, like probably like 13th, 14th, and then
Slowly
going
just
even
down,
lower
yeah.
from there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm on all for Brighton to stay up because I like their crest and I like the team. But yeah, okay. So you put Brentford 10th, and they finished 16th. So
We're not gonna talk about it.
that's pretty high up, man. See, after I told him, like, man, I don't know, but you had faith,
Yeah.
I guess. But I mean, hey, it's the faith that kills you. All right, you
Yeah.
put Aston Villa 8th.
That one, okay.
No
I'm not gonna lie to you.
No one would have predicted this.
Nobody would have thought that they were gonna end fourth. So I don't care who is, unless you're literally an Aston Villa
I don't think
fan,
even the Aston Villa fans thought they were gonna
Yeah.
end fourth. So I don't know.
Like, I better not see no comment saying, "Oh, I thought Aston Villa was. I knew they were gonna be fourth." Like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
yeah.
Nobody thought they were gonna be fourth. So, like, if you're telling me otherwise, I think you're crazy, me personally.
Yes,
But,
I
I mean,
believe it.
Yeah, I think I put them in a decent spot. I didn't think they were gonna do bad, but I didn't think they were gonna perform that well. I mean, I had them doing good. 8's not bad. So, I mean, that's just me personally. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I didn't expect them to do so well either. I know Emery is a pretty good coach. I mean, he did great things with Villarreal, and I just didn't think they'd have it in them to end in the Champions League, honestly. If it wasn't for Emiliano Martinez, I would be all for it, but I hate Aston Villa because of that. Until that man's gone, I'm sorry, Villa fans, but I will be praying for your downfall. I was very happy that they got knocked out of the Conference League. I can't stand that guy. He irritates me. He can't just be a normal player. He just has to be the clown. I don't know. It was a shocker, but Unai Emery obviously did everything that they could. It's funny, they didn't really... They did bought some players in and they spent some money, but it wasn't like crazy money. Like I can only remember the couple signings like Pau Torres and and Diaby.
Yeah.
I can't remember anybody else.
Yeah, I remember that's kind of what had me on the hype train a little bit of getting him up there. But once again, I didn't expect him to do that crazy. And I don't even think Diaby had that crazy of a season. I don't recall.
Nah,
I didn't keep up with that many of the games. But yeah, I believe he's pretty quiet. So he wasn't even that. He wasn't even the game changer for them, you would say. But that does bring me to a question, a little spot-on question for you.
What's that?
Do you think they overperformed, or do you think we'll see this again next season?
It's tough.
Do you think it was deserving, I should say?
At the end of the season, they were destroying teams. So, but then they got destroyed too. I think I forgot who it was by. But honestly, I want to say that they'll probably be around they'll probably be fighting for Europe for sure. I can't say Champions League, but they'll probably be in the 5 or the 6 range next season. I feel. I don't know. Champions League is a big jump. I mean, they managed well with the Conference League, but the Conference League you're playing against freaking Maccabi Haifa and not your freaking Bayerns and Real Madrids, you know.
Yeah.
So you're not playing Kukuriki and whatnot.
It's that one meme where you're playing in someone's backyard.
Pretty much.
It's a big jump to the Champions.
Exactly, man. But we'll see what happens next season. But yeah, so you got that one. So that's 30 right there for you. I think you're at 30. I might have to recalculate this, especially when we go over the end, to see where you put Fulham. All right. Okay, so you put Tottenham in 7th. Okay, so I know they have it.
They should have been there. They were selling towards the end.
They did sell towards the end, honestly. Well, you say selling, but I mean they ended 5th. So I mean you're the wrong kind of selling in your situation.
Yeah. No, but I feel like they were up there and they had this streak going, and
they could have got Champions League. They started throwing.
Yeah, I remember maybe Kane was the problem. Cause Son was literally taking the load, winning them games. Dude was turning into a bigger superstar than he already was.
Yeah,
he's getting all the credit, and then they magically just start tanking, and then I mean they obviously ain't crazy like they ended 5th.
Mhm.
But I mean, where they were at to now is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they fell off somewhat, but at least they got some type of football, like European football. Because I know last year they didn't get anything. It's still an improvement, but I mean, it's Spurs for you. You know, it's not. It's just like them to bottle it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the funny thing is here. So we didn't know how it was gonna work, like the rankings for this next Champions League, because it's gonna be different. So basically, the way it is that the every year 2 leagues are gonna have an extra Champions League spot depending on who goes further. So this year, a lot of Serie A and Bundesliga teams made it far, so it raised their ranking number up, so they get a 6th spot this year. So we didn't know this past year what was gonna happen, but now we have an idea. You know, now we know how it works. So obviously here it's written different. So next time when we do this, we'll probably change it to numbers because we don't know what they're gonna get, you know. So
Yeah.
but you put Tottenham to get 7th, and they got 5th, so you're off by 2. They're not bad. I mean, you're only off by 2. And then you put Newcastle to get 6th.
That one I do remember.
They got 7th. You're barely off by 1, so not bad.
Yeah. They actually helped my Chelsea boys a lot because they were selling some games towards the end.
Yeah,
so
honestly,
shout out
you
to
guys
them.
got very lucky
Shout
there.
out to them.
Exactly. And then you put United. You put them
Actually,
5th.
Yeah, that was.
Not
I
that-
don't know what else.
Not that bad.
I'm pretty sure you had them lower,
Yeah, I did.
and like that's why I was like, they'll do bad, but they won't do that bad.
Yeah, I did have them lower because I love shitting on me some Man United supporters.
But they won a trophy. They won a trophy.
Yeah, you shouldn't be happy about that, you know, because that bumps you guys down. That's
Yeah.
the crazy thing, because usually so here's the funny thing. I didn't know that this was a thing until I discovered it by playing FIFA, because it never happens.
Yeah.
So I guess when you win the League Cup for your league, you get a spot. I don't know if it's every league, but you get a spot in the Europa League. And I didn't know this. And I found out by playing FIFA. But this is the first year that this has actually come into question. Usually whoever wins the FA Cup is like in the top 4. So it makes no difference. Or the top 5. Or it makes no difference. So if they win it, nothing happens. But this year's the first time that since they won it and they finished outside, it pushed everything down. So it automatically slid you guys down a peg. So basically it's like they finished, it's like if they finished 6th, you know? And then it pushed you guys down to 7th, and it pushed Newcastle down to 8th. So Newcastle, with United winning the FA Cup, they don't get the Conference League. And since, what's it called? And since they won, you guys get Conference League instead of Europa League.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the first time it's happened. I can't remember the last time something like this has happened or in what league, but yeah.
But
yeah.
I do want to say to you United fans, you guys did win your trophy. You can say, yeah, you won the FA Cup. But I don't want it to take away from, don't start acting like you guys are top 4 in the league. Nah. Y'all are still 8. So make sure you remember that. Remember, y'all are still in shambles. So next year, it's not gonna matter that you guys are in or that you guys won that FA Cup.
Exactly.
Just wanted to let that be clear. Like next year, whenever you guys keep tanking, just remember.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of United fans, I'm not gonna lie, are getting very delusional. They see a little bit of a win, and then all of a sudden, everyone wanted Ten Hag out. Now everyone wants Ten Hag back in. Like, I don't know, keep him in, man. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I'm
keep
for
him.
it too, man.
Keep him for signing to a 20-year extension. Like, I could care less. Sign that, man. So you guys get relegated. Like,
Exactly.
I couldn't help myself because Twitter. Oh my God, these delusional fans are wild.
I bet.
They were dying for something, and now that they got something, they think they're top of the league. Like, no, man, that's not how that works. But, anyways.
No, I mean, I don't blame you. All I'm gonna say is, United fans, keep the same energy.
Yeah,
I remember
you go.
they used to, when Arsenal was missing out on the Champions League for all those years, I remember they went on a streak where they kept winning the FA Cup every single year, and everybody was they didn't care. Like, they weren't giving them their flowers for winning. It's like, oh, who cares? It's just a I don't know, like a Mickey Mouse cup or whatever.
Yeah, they were
you
saying
know.
that it didn't count as a trophy.
Exactly. Now they win it, and now it's something because they won it. I think a couple years in a row. I think they won it like 2 or 3 years because I think Arsenal has the most FA Cups.
Yeah.
And I think they hold the record for the most. So my point is, everybody was shitting on them for that. So now that United win it, I don't want to be hearing anything about like, oh yeah. Like if any other team wins it, it's just a dumb cup that doesn't count. But all of a sudden, if they win it, it counts. So just remember that because they did that to the Arsenal fans, and now, you know.
Yeah, you kind of got to live with the punches. Because I remember seeing that too, and Chelsea content creator on Twitter, he tweeted this post from it was like an old person. It was like an old tweet from like, I forget what year it was, but it was a United fan saying how you could be happy about the FA Cup, that it doesn't matter, this and that. And then he's like, well, this ain't too well. And I like, it literally just made me like laugh. And I was like, dude, like, this is how delusional they are. Like a couple of years back, they were literally saying that the trophy was worthless, had no meaning. And all of a sudden they win it. And that's the first thing they've won in forever. And now they're all like happy about it. Like, dude.
Exactly.
It's just so annoying. And I mean that respectfully to like fans. Like, there's just like some fan bases that are like that. And
there's a lot like that. And United is one of them. That's why I've been enjoying their downfall.
Yeah, but hey, man.
But yeah, and then lastly, it sucks that we were we were kind of robbed. But I mean, I think I was gonna say we were robbed of seeing how Newcastle would have truly done, because I feel like Sandro Tonali literally is the glue in this team. Without him, they're nothing, and we never got to see them at their full capability. We never saw them in the Champions League, how they would have fared for sure. We never saw how they would ended up in the running for next season's European spots. And I feel like we were robbed, but more like Sandro Tonali robbed himself, because he missed the whole year. And I don't know if Italy qualified for the Euros, and if they did, if he's even going to be on the short list because he didn't play all year.
Yeah, he didn't play all year.
Yeah, so that's a big deal, man.
Honestly, I wonder how it's gonna be for him next year, because a lot of people like underestimate it. A year off is a lot of time off. Like, I know you're still training. You're still, like, if you're not training like that.
Yeah, like what are you doing?
Another topic for another conversation.
Yeah.
But like, obviously he's training, but training and actually being in a game are two different things. So like, who even knows if next year it just goes back to normal? Like, maybe next year is like a little bit of a down year, and then maybe like, who knows if he ever comes back to being Tonali. Like, you never know. The 1 year can do so much to your career. It's wild.
Yeah, a year off can really burn your momentum, and he was doing really good at the moment. Newcastle were gelling. They were looking like they might make a push for the title, like a top four, and they fell flat. I feel like everybody in like the team kind of like they got the wind knocked out of them, so like all the hype and the energy just kind of deflated, and they're like, man, well, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then these guys keep doing it though, man. I just don't understand. I don't understand why these guys do it. So I don't know if you saw it, Brian, but they're saying that Paqueta might get like a 10-year ban or like an infinite ban or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, once again, it's kind of like one of those things where like that's so harsh, but it's like they're ruining the integrity of the game, and like they just like, I feel like players just don't take stuff serious. Like they just expect a little ban and like, oh, it'll be okay. Like, nothing's gonna happen.
Slap
so it's
on
kind
the
of
wrist.
like, so it's kind of like you have to do something like that, and like, yes, it's excessive, but like, would you rather it like ruin football and think like cheating is okay and like all this and that? So it's kind of just like, I don't know, man. It's just one of those topics where it's like, just don't do dumb things so like stuff like this doesn't happen. Like, come on, man. It's not worth it. They get paid millions. Like,
exactly. It makes no sense. And they play in the Premier League. They get paid more than almost any league. The only leagues that you might compete with is like maybe like, well, the only places you can compete with is like Saudi, or if you play for like an oil club or like a big team. They get paid so much money, it's not even funny. And to do all that shit, I'm like, you at that point, you have an addiction. It's not even about the money. You're addicted.
Like, it's not even like they're nobody players. Like, he's like a star.
Yeah.
It's like like, why? Like, there's just so like, dude, find another hobby, man.
Right?
Read a book or something. Like, jeez. Like it's that simple. But I mean, hey, man, that is what they say. They say that it's an addiction. So I mean,
yeah, no, it is. And
hopefully, I just hope for the love of football that it's not that much of a ban, that it's not actually that crazy of a ban. But who knows? I was already like seeing a bunch of stuff like you that it's gonna be like so many years, and it's just like, oh man.
yeah, I don't know if it's just the Prem or if it's FIFA. If it's FIFA, his career's over. If it's the Prem,
Yeah.
he's gonna have to leave the Prem.
Because I seen a thing that they're saying he was getting a perma ban, like
Yeah, I
permanent.
saw that. Yeah, but I was like,
So,
is
like,
it?
yeah, like I don't know. It's rumors, speculation. But,
Yeah,
like,
we don't know yet.
The fact that like the fact that that's even getting thrown out is kind of wild.
Right?
So it's like it's scary, and like you see like you're just seeing like a bunch of outlet sources like saying these years, but like you'd think everyone's gonna be like, oh, like a 1 year, 2 year ban. No, everybody's saying like 10, 15 permanent. Like it's just these crazy numbers where it's kind of just like you start piecing things together, and you're like, you know what? Like if everyone's assuming it's this big, it's probably gonna be pretty big. Like you kind of just gotta piece it together, but.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. Like, he better hope it's for the Prem and not FIFA, because if not, his career's done. And he's still pretty young, and he's like a very good player for the Brazilian national team. So I don't know, but you at this rate, I see it as you got to make an example, and if they have to do it with Paqueta, and that's the only way to make people stop. That's what they're gonna do. You know, like it's impacting every sport. It's not even just this sport. Every sport across the world is seeing players that. They have an addiction to gambling and they just can't stop betting on dumb stuff, man. I'm like, why do you have to do that? Like, why? Like, if you really are that obsessed, why can't you wait until your career's over, you know? Like, why even... And even if you're gonna do that, why would you put money on your own team or, like, your league? Yeah. Like, you're just asking for trouble there. Like,
and that's kind of like what I'm saying, too, where it's like it's ruining the integrity of the game and they kind of have no choice but to do it because it's just like... How does that look to the public perception to find out that one of the players from your team that you like is betting on his own team? Like, it doesn't matter if it's like even if it's for him to get like what they were saying. I forgot what they were saying that he was doing. Wasn't it like the yellow cards?
Yeah, I'm like, bro.
Like even if it's for you, you're like, oh, whatever. It's just I'm just getting a yellow card. Like that yellow card itself does so much that like. I don't think these players kind of understand, and it's just like they have to get something like this so they can kind of learn. But I mean, it sucks.
Yeah, that one's even worse, man. Like yellow cards, I'm like, 'cause I remember I saw some clips like when he one time when he punched the ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like, are you in debt? Like, are you trying to pay off your bookie or something? Like, why are you doing this?
I think the one that was even worse was when he didn't want to get off the pitch. And as soon as he gets a yellow, like he walks off so calm, like, oh, it's okay, now I can walk off. Like oh my god, man, it's just so annoying, but.
Oh yeah, I bet. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. We'll probably find out in the coming weeks, but yeah. All right, moving on. So let's check the next bracket will be.
I think
top
next
4.
I put Chelsea. Yep.
You did. I see Chelsea right there.
I remember that now. Right, I remember that as well.
All right, so you put Chelsea 4th.
At the top 3.
You put Chelsea 4th. Hey, you did get the top 3 right. Hey, look at that. Nice.
And I think if it wasn't for Chelsea's horrible start, I think they could have had a chance. They were coming back towards the end, but
it was close.
Man, they threw so many dumb games at the beginning. Like
you guys were off by 5 points. I'm not gonna lie, it was close.
Yeah, no, the beginning of the season, no, I'm not gonna lie. Like, might as well talk about it now.
Yeah.
So we'll even get into the Poch thing. So at the beginning of the season,
I was gonna have you say all that either way, so go for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was very much a Poch out guy, and I don't like. I think it was too early to say that, me personally, because I think I remember talking to you about it. I had said I was like, it's a young team. You gotta give them time. You gotta give them stability. You got to give them somebody who they can kind of like mesh well with. And it's going to be one of those things where you got to get through the ugly before you can get to the other side. So I was just like, you know what? I was like, just wait it out with Poch. And they did. They started waiting it out. Like they were getting so much hate from the fans. They were losing these dumb games. Poch was making like some pretty dumb decisions. But then there's I forgot what break they took. I think it was like an international break. And then they came back. And then whenever they came back, like all of a sudden they started winning these games. They started getting on a run. You start seeing Poch like throwing these lineups that actually make sense. Like he's not just throwing players out there just to throw them out there. And then they started winning games. And then people started coming back from injuries. Then like obviously, I'm not gonna lie, they had so many injuries again. Like I remember at one point in the season, I was literally sending you pictures of our whole roster, like
Oh
on the injuries.
yeah.
I was like it's not even funny at this point. Like I don't know what we have going on that we just can't get out of injuries. But I remember they started winning these games, and then you get to the end of the season, and then you end up getting the result you get. You get six. You were literally like, if it wasn't for United winning against City, you would have had Europa League. But no, then you decide, oh, we want Poch out. Apparently, Poch decides to mutually agree to leave, probably because they wanted him out, and he just didn't want to get fired. He wanted it to be like something that kind of like helps him out, which I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to get fired, so I'd mutually part ways as well. But it's like one of those things where it's like, what are you doing? Like, you finally get things to turn around. You're on like a 5 or 6 game win streak. You're looking good, and then like you just make this dumb decision that's very impulsive, I believe. And because you think you're like this big club and the owner just does not know what he's doing, it's just like, oh, let's get rid of him and let's bring somebody else. Like it's not that simple. It's one of these teams where like the players are so young, you have so much talent, and if you don't, it's Enzo's 5th coach, I believe, since he's been at Chelsea.
Really?
That's wild. It's his
Wow.
5th coach. Yeah, like he's been through 5 coaches I think it was like in the span of like 3 or something months. Like I forget how much it was.
Here, let me do math real quick. I think Tuchel, Potter, Lampard, Poch. I'm missing one, right?
I believe it was 5.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was trying to do the math. I'm like, okay, so they had Tuchel. They got rid of Tuchel. They brought in Graham Potter. They got rid of Potter. They brought in Lampard. They got rid of Lampard. I think it's 4, and then they brought in Poch.
Yeah,
right?
it might be 4.
Well, soon to be 5.
I think it's 4, and he's gonna be on his
soon
5th.
to be 5. Yeah, there you go.
It's gonna be on his 5th.
Yeah.
So,
but go ahead.
like that itself is crazy. Like, does that make sense? Like, he's such a young player and already on his 5th coach. Like it's just a lot of impulsive decisions. Like, even I don't care if you have, like, say we still had Tuchel, right? I don't care that you're going through a bad stretch, but if you're going through a bad stretch, you go through next year and next year you see no improvements. All right, you fire him. But it's like you're just making like so many, like, you bring someone in, nope, it's not working in a month. All right, get him out. Next month, it's not working, get him out. Like, you are actually seeing improvements with Poch, and I think that's what frustrates me, because if you were gonna fire Poch, do it at the beginning of the season or the mid-season where it was literally like nobody knew what they were doing. It looked like players were actually lost when they got on the pitch. At that moment, if you want to fire Poch, fire Poch. Like, okay, whatever. At that point, I would have been like upset, but it would have made sense. It would have been like, you know what, like, our owner, he makes a lot of impulsive decisions. We're doing bad. All right, you fired him. But no, like, you decide to fire him when you're getting on a win streak, and for who? Like, who do you possibly think you're gonna bring in? Obviously, now we know that it's Enzo, but like, did you know that? Were you confident with that? Like, do you think that's better than what they were going to perform right now? Do you think the struggles of, like, adjusting to another coach aren't going to happen? Are you going to fire them again when, like, they go through their struggles at the beginning of the season? Like, I genuinely just don't know what they're doing. I think it was dumb to fire Poch. I remember, like, literally every game towards the end of the season when I was telling you, I was like, oh my God, we won another game. Oh my God, we won another game. I was actually starting to feel confident. I was like, you know what? I was like, we actually might win this game. At the beginning of the season, it was like, nope, I know we're going to take an L. Why am I tuning in to watch this? Oh, they get scoring again. Oh, they get scoring again. They should win this game. Nope, they lose by 4. They should win this game. Nope, they lose by 3. Like, and then it actually turned around, but nope. All down the drain, and now we get Enzo, and I'm not going to lie. At this point, what do I got to lose? I mean, he has a very attacking style play of football, so, I mean, maybe for the love of Christ, something magical happens and we go on this crazy run. The bald Pep 2.0 takes us to victory, but I doubt it. Like, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of glamoring over the fact that he's kind of been like, he was like a product of Pep, you could say.
Yeah.
But Do I think it was the right decision? No. Am I excited? I honestly don't know. Like, you could say at the beginning, at one moment in time, I would have, but now, am I really? No. But I mean, we'll see what happens. But I will shout out to Poch for actually changing the culture, I would say, at Chelsea, and kind of just for the switch around that they kind of had. Because if you look at the beginning of the season to now, the improvements are there. You can see the change. You literally have players like Enzo shouting out Poch and saying how before Poch was there, how like it was basically like a shit show. Nobody knew what they were doing. Everybody wanted to show up late. Then he started holding players accountable. Like, that's what you want. And that's, I think, what frustrates me, because once you get players to buy in, it changes the culture, and like it actually sets you up for success. So now that you have players bought in and you ruin that, and now you bring somebody else in, it's just like at some point they're just gonna stop. They're gonna be like, we're gonna get someone new anyways. So like, it's just gonna ruin everything. But I mean, I feel like I'm just repeating myself now, so
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
gonna
you're
let
good.
it out there.
You're
See
good,
your
Brian.
thoughts. Very
So,
frustrating.
I bet, I could tell. I mean, I would have been frustrated for you. So, I thought it was so dumb to get rid of him, considering the comeback that they made, and how they almost got Champions League football in the end, and they just fell short barely at the end. And they got used to a system. Finally, all the players started meshing and playing well, and they had it down. So for them to finally get the hang of it, and then to just get rid of him and bring in someone new that's gonna change everything, and they have to relearn everything, it's just not it. And I honestly don't know what they were doing. Honestly, I'm sure that Poch left because he was like, I'm tired of being asked questions about my future and if I'm gonna get fired or this or that. He's probably like, they probably would have kept him on, but he's like, you guys are unsure of me. I'm tired. If you guys want to split, I'm down. Like, it was like, if you're down, I'm down.
Yeah.
And he's like, whatever. I'm just gonna cut it and just leave. But I think it's a bad decision. I don't know how it's gonna go. I know that the manager that you guys just hired, that he got Leicester back up, but I mean, even the Leicester fans are too enthused about him leaving that they're saying that he has like a one-track mind and he has like one tactic, and then if that doesn't work, then nothing happens. Like, I don't know, but yeah.
And I believe they were actually like, they almost like ended up throwing towards the end.
They did. That a big lead.
I was like, if I recall, they literally were like throwing, like they were up by so much, and then it literally didn't end up being by that much. So
yeah, they started off the season undefeated for like a good amount of time. Cause I remember I was following them. Cause I was like, damn, they're still undefeated. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I don't know. Like, towards the end, I think it's just, it sucks. I mean, I hope for like the best. Like, I hope everything goes well. I mean, do I think they're gonna do well? At this point, I'm literally so unsure. Like, I thought so many things were going well towards the end of the season, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared for some development of players. Like, I feel like Poch was very, very, very lenient on players like Jackson.
yeah.
I feel like he was very lenient on players like Mudryk. I feel like he gave them so many chances where, like, will another coach do that? Who knows? Well, like, I started seeing some. I'm not gonna lie. I started to see some development from Jackson. Like, I started to actually see him develop into like a striker. Literally, like at the beginning, it looked like this dude like was Bambi. Like, he could not keep a ball to his legs to save his life. This guy, like, I don't know what was happening at the beginning of the season, but towards the end, he actually started to look good. Same thing with Mudryk. Mudryk literally looked like a lost cause whenever he got to Chelsea. But he started to switch it up a little bit. And he started to actually like make smart decisions. Did he play his best? No, but it's a developmental process that happens. And will he get this much faith from another coach? Who knows? That coach did not ask for him. So it's like one of those things where it's just like, you're scared because you literally don't know what's going to happen to the team. And like, you finally saw some steps forward. But I mean, what can you do now besides watch? So hopefully, like, he gives as much faith as Poch was kind of giving into the players, and he sets them up for success. Hopefully, he has like these bright ideas of what to do to help them grow. Like, very, very hopeful, but I mean, only time will tell, and we'll see.
Yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't know. I felt like you guys were on the up, and now I feel like you guys are like just back down to the depths of where you guys were before. So
yeah, and
it just sucks.
And I seen one of those things where it's just like, every time you take one step forward or you take two steps forward and one step back or something like that. What's that saying?
It's a two. It's a 2 steps forward and 3 steps back.
Yeah, and then I remember seeing a Chelsea fan post, and I was just like, dude, I was like, literally sums up being a Chelsea fan. Like, you always take 2 steps forward with the club, and you take 3 steps back. You always make a little bit of push, nah, I get rid of him. You make a good push, nah, I get rid of him. Like, like if only they just had patience. And I blame the owner. I blame Bowley, that idiot. But anyway,
Right? I don't know what Bowley's doing. Honestly, this guy, he's a bum, man. I'm sorry, but he is like your average American. He doesn't know
yeah,
anything about this sport.
I think he just has the American mentality where
Yep.
it's just like
Just
you
throw
can
money
hire
at
someone
everything.
yeah, like no, that's not how things get solved, man. And until that changes, like until you actually see change in the ownership, who knows what's gonna happen with Chelsea? But
Exactly. So,
can only hope for better.
right. Well, Brian's in the mud at the moment, so we'll move on to save him some of his sanity, since I know he already ripped out plenty of his hair this last week or
Oh,
so.
I did, and I've actually like every time I see something about Chelsea, literally just reminds me of the sadness that we go through every year.
Exactly.
But it is.
And it's continuing on. I already seen that you guys are already targeting a bunch of Wonder Kids. I'm like, bro, how many
Literally.
Wonder Kids are you guys gonna stack, man?
That's what I'm saying, and they just signed the kid from Palmeiras too.
That's
the
that.
one that
That's
yeah,
talking
and I'm
about
just
Esteval. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
yeah, and I was just like, dude, like, at what point do you just say we're rocking with our team? We already have some people signed and just move
Yeah.
forward. Like, no, like these dudes
Exactly.
want to sign everybody. They don't even have room for them on the team. Like,
Or
who
the
are you
money.
possibly gonna? I know, like, who are you gonna get rid of? Who? Like, please tell me who.
Exactly.
You have all these players. You don't even know who to throw out there. Like, I think Madueke was getting
Yeah.
wasted for a while, even with Poch. Like, dude was getting no minutes, and like the minutes he would get, like he would shine, and it's like right back to the bench because you have so many players to throw out there because they've thrown so much money at people
Yeah.
that it's just like it's ridiculous. Like even with the Lavia, like whenever they sign Lavia, then they have Enzo, then they have Caicedo, then they have Gallagher, and like who are you possibly going to eventually throw out? Like
And
you
you
can't play
just
them
signed a
all.
midfielder too.
I know, like you cannot play them all. And I remember seeing a signing, or not seeing a signing, seeing a tweet, and it's just like who can Enzo bring to as a signing from Leicester to Chelsea, and then they said that their one midfielder that they have that's doing really good. I forget what his name is. And then somebody in the comments is like, how many midfielders does Chelsea need? And that's what that's literally what I'm saying. I'm just
It's
like, dude,
true.
like just move forward. Why do we always have to sign somebody? Like, just if you want to sign somebody, sign a real striker. That's all I ask. Nobody else. Nobody else. Everybody else can stay exactly the same. I don't care. Like, let the whole defense develop into the defense. You've seen shines of Gusto literally like looking like a beast out there, covering up for James. Even even Cucurella, like that dude was even putting in a shift for a while.
Yeah.
And then like all these other players like Cole, you just gotta let them develop. They're young, dude. Like there's so much potential. He's still got Chalaba. He's young. Like there's
Yeah.
so many players that just need minutes so they can get that experience and then they could like put it out on the field then. But like they just want to keep throwing money and money and money, and they will never learn until they actually get somebody who wants to develop the players.
Yeah. Exactly. No. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with you guys, but yeah, it's like that meme. It's like stop buying Wonder Kids or draw 26.
Yeah,
That's literally them right now, man. I don't know what's going on, but
and I actually
yeah.
feel bad for some of these players because I'm just like, I see them getting signed and like sure they're probably like happy. They're like yeah, but then I'm just like in my head I'm just like dude
They're not gonna
like
play
why
at all.
why did you choose us like where do you see your place like genuinely like just like tell me that like I feel like they just do it for the money because it's a big club
Oh yeah.
and it's just like you're getting paid, but it's just like if you're real like caring about your career, and this is like me being a Chelsea fan, like I don't know why you would go to Chelsea. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what unless you're like some crazy like Pele-esque like Ronaldo-esque player, like you know you're gonna get minutes. Like why would you go there? Like it's literally a shit show in terms of like who's gonna play and who's not.
Yeah.
Like, you're not guaranteed a spot. That's the one squad you can go to that you're not guaranteed a spot because, like, there's so many people for everything. Like, for every position, there's somebody there. But
Exactly.
it is what it is.
It's true, man. I mean, I say the same thing about players when they sign for PSG. I'm like, you don't see how hard it is for Mbappe to leave, and you want to go and just join. I don't. These some of these people don't think, man. They don't think right when they're picking their career path.
And they're young, so like you don't blame them. But it's just like, oh my god, like you just feel bad, like being a fan watching, because like it's so horrible, like knowing you got a star on your bench and they just don't get minutes at all.
Yeah,
like
just rot there.
Seeing their career rot there, like it's so depressing. And like you like whenever you're a fan of these players, you're like, oh my god, I can't wait for them to get minutes just to find out they get none. And it's just like, oh my god, like it's a sad feeling.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm just like, I kind of just hope they stick it out with what they got and they just keep moving forward. But I doubt it'll be that way. I heard like apparently freaking Victor Osimhen wants to come, and like who knows what's gonna happen with that. But dude only wants to sign for us apparently. But apparently we don't care because like we don't want to go after him. So we'll see what happens with that.
He had a horrible season, so I think now's the time to not buy. You guys are lucky that you guys didn't buy him last season after that monster season he had. But Napoli did so bad, like they finished I think 10th, and they missed out on a European spot because Serie A is so crazy that the 9th spot might get a European spot, and they missed out still. So they did horrible. So I would not want to sign Osimhen. So I don't know. Yeah. After that season, and they're gonna want a lot of money too. I'm not gonna fork over 100 plus for like a shit show, you know. So it'll be another Lukaku for you guys.
Literally, and that's why like I kept seeing kind of like reports about it. It's like Chelsea's trying to do like a swap deal with like Lukaku for Osimhen, and I'm just like, dude, like no.
Oh yeah. Well, Conte does want him, so you never know.
Yeah, but like I don't know. We'll see. But on the other hand, how about we change it to some good news?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Flop out. I'm happy.
Every non-Liverpool fan is happy about it. I know. When I saw, I was like, I was shocked, man. I was like, maybe he's just gonna rickroll everybody. He's gonna troll everybody. I was sad, man. I'm like, it's the end of an era, man. It's just.
Yeah, share your thoughts as a Prem Liverpool fan. Only
yes,
Prem.
I am.
Prem.
Yes.
Share your thoughts.
I am. So. I don't know. I was sad, man. Like Klopp's been there forever. I remember when he came in and the team was a shit show. They were in the Europa League every year, and they had a bunch of bums in their team, and they just fell off so hard. And he just turned the team around like tenfold, and he developed players, and he just made big changes. And Liverpool won everything, you know. So it's sad, man. It sucks to see him go, but he's been here a while. But I mean. It gets tiring, man, having to fight 115 charges FC every year. It gets exhausting, you know, mentally exhausting, man. That like you missed out on a couple league titles because of these cheating bastards. So, I mean, it gets tough, man. I'm sad. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's funny because I was following Feyenoord because of Santi, and now he's. The coach for Feyenoord is now the coach for Liverpool, and I'm just like, I mean, if he slides over Santi, I'll be okay with it, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, unfortunately. But it's sad. It's the end of an era, and the end of an era is always sad. Like I'm not ready for the day like Ancelotti retires too. Like I was upset when they fired him the first time around too. So the fact that he's gonna go eventually, and then. Yeah, so it's tough, man. So we'll see what happens. I don't have high hopes, though. I don't think they'll do that well. We'll see how they adapt and change. A lot of players might want to leave, you know, because they're like, I don't want to deal with this guy, you know.